Okay, let's see. Maybe this is a little bit better. Let's go ahead. Okay, I think I'm gonna take that back screen off. I see a lot of like blinking going on. Let me see. Settings. Camera. Virtual background. There you go. Done. Okay, there you go. For best performance, we recommend using the green screen. Okay. What is up? No. Finally got it going. Man, I'm glad Sea Dog came on and told me about it. You got to go on the live stream. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Yeah, just waiting for Iron Bear to come on, see what's going on. We're going to be talking about fighting terrorism since 1492. This light's pretty bright. Let me go ahead and turn that off. Just over here at the restaurant, A&B Native American Cuisine. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look here. Yeah, this is definitely, let me see, invite, copy. Let's see, paste. There you go. Alrighty, so yeah, we're going to be talking about, appreciate you tapping in. This is kind of, like I said, Native American talk. We're going to be talking about Christopher Columbus and Christopher Columbus Day. Oh, it's still kind of bright. Let me take a look. There you go. Can you hear me? Do I sound okay? Okay, we got one person on here, and that one person is me. Let's go ahead and take a look here. But it's all good. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. All right, yeah, most definitely. Iron Bear, I'll give him a shout right now. See. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I could ask him. All right, hey, I'm on. So if you want to jump on, go. I dropped the link. All right. Yeah, I'm already live. So. All right. All right, for sure. Okay. Well, we got a few minutes for Iron Bear. So yeah, yes, I do got it now. Thank you, Bigfoot. And yeah, I didn't even know. I thought going live, you had to have StreamYard for it. I mean, because I know I'm not monetized. But yeah, let's get into it. What I want to talk about is Christopher Columbus. Okay, so I googled it right now. It says Christopher Columbus was an Italian explorer and navigator who completed the Spanish-based voyages across the Atlantic Ocean, sponsored by the Catholic monarchs of Spain, opening the way of the widespread of the European exploration and colonization of Americas. Okay, so what I'd like to talk about is, from like I said in my last live, there's a lot of stories that get passed down from generation to generation, and one of them stories, they what they teach you in school. He was a really good, great explorer of all this stuff. They make him out to be a hero when he really you do, if you fact check the dude, he was, he was just a sick individual, bro. And he was lost at sea. He was dying. And we never really had like a name for colors. Like we don't even really, I mean, like when you bring up white, um, we bring up, okay, when you see somebody, when they seen them, they gave them the name. In our language was quinitum. So quinitum, that means it's not even white person, man. It's a person in need. So when they seen him, it was a quinitum. So a person in need. They helped him, saved him, and I believe I was in kindergarten when they were teaching us about this. Okay, so with that, the teacher was like, "Hey, he's a great explorer. He's a great." Um, he was, they just made him out this hero. And when you're a little kindergarten kid, you go home, you tell your parents, be like, "Hey, look, this is what I learned about Christopher Columbus." And boy, was I and the one thing I appreciate about my mother is that she never sugarcoated anything that she's ever said about anything. So when you're really in danger and you're really in a situation, um, she'll tell you about it. So okay, so she tells me about Christopher Columbus. She was telling me why the name Quanitum, came up, and it was crazy. No matter what, my mother I don't think she is anymore, but she was really racist towards white people. And like when I come home with a white friend, she definitely didn't appreciate it. And when I came home with a white girlfriend, blew her mind. Okay, but she she was telling me about it. Okay, so kindergarten and school, she's telling me um about the experience of like that's not what happened. And Thanksgiving's a lie. We help them, we get all this stuff, and we help them, nurture them, show them how to survive a winter out here, and in Northern America as we know it now. And they tell a story of how it is. Okay, so she's telling me we saved them, we helped them, and in return, what we got was attacked, pillaged, and as you know, as the real story is, instead of what the schools teach you as a kid. So Christopher Columbus to me, and what it means is like a disgrace, man. And to honor that piece of shit is just something that doesn't sit well with me. I mean, Thanksgiving's one thing I really don't care. I use that day as well. But and the crazy thing is, in our household, we don't cook till after Thanksgiving. We call it Thanks for Nothing Day. We say, you know what, we helped you, and this is what we got. Complete genocide. Native Americans were dying from common colds, and it's not just us. It was the Aztecs, the Mayans that were affected by it. And I was watching something on Discovery about how the whole the whole thing just happened. It was just like it was it was crazy. Like the whole okay, so they bring this whole okay. So they come over to the mines. This is what I've seen. I was just watching TV the other day. They've come over to where they're like, hey, what happened to the mines? Why did they get extinct? Where did they go? Was it aliens? Was it this? Okay, so what you fail to understand is that they we didn't have the immune system that people had out in Europe. We didn't have the whole um, we didn't have the whole you you know we didn't have the whole immune system built like how they were, because that's where the plague started. You know what I mean? People were literally throwing their stuff out into the road, out their window, and rats were getting into it, and that's how the plague started. You know what I mean? It was just a really, really crazy experience. So when they came, we were dying from common colds. They were using what is that called? They're smallpox like blankets, bro. I mean, this is a government that they want us to respect and honor, and I feel some type of way about that. Okay, I think we got Iron Bear in the house. What's going on, Iron
Hey,
Bear?
what's going on? How you doing?
Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. I was just giving him the breakdown of how I feel about Christopher Columbus and give you an update of
Hold
where
on
we
one
stand.
second. I got to dig out my volume. Something's going on with my volume. Can I ever hear you?
Okay, just let me know when you're ready, brother. You hear me better now, or is it still?
Yeah, I can hear you a little better now, but I can't hear you too good. But I can hear you
Okay.
though.
All right. Okay. I was just giving them an update of okay. I was introduced to Christopher Columbus through elementary, and I was just explaining to them about like, okay, so Christopher Columbus was an explorer, a navigator, a hero. Okay. So that's what they taught me in school. So I go home and I tell my mother about this. And my mother gives me the whole grim reality of everything that happened from there on till now. So I got like the whole lecture for like the whole, like at least for an hour of my mom, like just telling me, as a kindergarten kid, 5 years old, she's telling me all this stuff about Christopher Columbus. What a piece of shit he was. You know what I mean? So, okay, let me tell it real quick. She tells me all this stuff, and I was just in the middle of it before I brought you on. Is that we got that have we have this okay, so we have this go on, and so I'm bringing up like the whole, how can I say it, how can I explain this real quick? Just she breaks it down, tells me what a piece of shit he is, okay? And then how the systems and everything get still reveres this guy and still give him a holiday. You know what I mean? And still gives him. And I want to know your thoughts and tell me how the story of Christopher Columbus came to you and your family. Like, how did you learn about him?
Um, I learned of it the same way through school. You know what I mean? They taught me in school about Christopher Columbus and the same thing about how he was a good person and this and that and how he helped everybody, and he made this state and this and that, and then you know, I went home and same thing, but it wasn't my mom who said it. More my dad and grandmother. My mom didn't really. She was how do I say, like, she was so passive. Like she didn't really take a aggressive stand against anything in life. You know what I mean? She was really just more peaceful and just like not nice, don't say it type thing. You know what I mean? Like she didn't. She
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah,
She spoke her opinion, but it was a very censored opinion, you could say.
yeah,
She wasn't down there like fuck this piece of shit. She was like, yeah, well, some people think he wasn't the best of guys, the best people, but some people do believe he is a great person. That's how she. That's what her outlook on it. You know what I mean? When my dad was like, no, he's a piece of shit. He's not no good. To neither Hispanic or natives. He's like, and he ran it down to me, and I said, all right, and then shortly after, I think it was about a month later, I went and stayed at my grandmother's house, and that's when she ran it down to me in depth. She ran it down to me in depth about everything, about how the lands are the way they are because of him. How he pretty much took our free range. It wasn't him, but ultimately what led to reservations. How a lot of different stuff we like to go on about, but more so about how the hardships that we live with today. That you know the other generations about how it hasn't stopped and how it's kept it going. And You know, and give or take, you know that we're to blame too. You know, we're not angels. You know what I mean? But a lot of hardship came through that. You know what I mean? And we wouldn't be where we was today. We are today if not for that. You know.
Yeah.
And like I said, there is drugs on the reservations that natives sell. So we shoot ourselves in the foot. You know what I mean? Just like any other race. Nobody's perfect out there.
Yeah.
But a lot of the hardships that we suffered through the millennium generation, from pretty much from the beginning, they showed up, was through them. A lot of diseases that our people died from was from them bringing it over here.
Yeah.
Um, starving Native Americans. Alcoholism. It's bad with Native Americans. Alcoholism, but at the same time, we didn't prevent alcohol. We didn't know what alcohol was. We didn't
Yeah.
have alcohol.
Let me chime in. Let me chime in real quick on the alcoholism. I don't believe that was built for Native Americans because you
It's
have
not.
many
It wasn't.
cultures that drink wine. You get
Yeah,
and mescal, and they had it in their system for years. You're talking. Okay, so
millenniums,
1492
generations.
is only five. With the evolution of we built up our immune system for common colds that we can now get because we were dying when they came over here with the way they lived, how unhygienic they were,
Yeah,
and for their reason to justify still like how media does other people is the whole like make somebody subhuman. Okay, so they say we're beaten. We're a nation that we lost at war. No, we didn't. Yeah, okay, so we did lose at war, whatever, but we also were lied to. The hypocritical politicians. The reason why they won't do business with like Cuba, um, Japan, Japan, because they're saying that they didn't hold up their end of the agreement and saying that they're liars and all this stuff. So there's how many broken treaties they've given us since 1492 and how many times they kept transferring us over, and then they killed our source of food, our buffalo. But okay, back to topic of alcohol. All these different cultures drank alcohol. The Europeans drank alcohol. They drank wine for years. I mean, hundreds of years. They built up a tolerance for it. Us,
it's in
I don't believe it's
not DNA,
present
but in the
for us,
system.
and I don't think it's ever will be for us. It's a poison
Yes,
that's
it is
killing
for
us.
Native Americans. That's why it's so bad, and we can't handle it.
No, no. So my
I'll be the
bad.
first to
That's
say
just I
that.
just wanted to chime in real quick on that, and I'll let you get back to telling how you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you pretty much covered exactly what I was gonna circle to was that exactly what you covered right now. That's what I was gonna. That's where I was building up to though.
Yeah,
Is that we're not. It's not part of our diet or whatever. It hasn't been. Still to this day. That's why it's so hard for Native Americans to shake it and to even handle it.
okay,
That's a lot of people are like, oh, that firewater, Native American, that firewater. Or why do you guys act the way you act? It's poison
yeah.
to us. We don't know how to handle it. We can't handle it. It's not
No, we
something that
can't.
we
It's not built
handle.
for us, and it's not meant for us. And
Exactly. And that's why when natives get on that, man, it's crazy. It's sad.
yeah,
It's sad because to the fact that they allow someone to take them over on that. You know what I mean? And me included. You know what I mean? Man, I fought with alcoholism for years and years and years. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna sit there and say I'm totally sober. I drink. I still do drink, but it's very rarely. You know what I mean? Like maybe 1, 2 times a week, opposed to every day, all day.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? That's how I was at one point in time. I'd wake up and I'd be drinking.
yeah,
Just like you guys see me smoke my weed. I was the
yeah,
same. It was the opposite though, but with
yeah.
alcohol. Like I drank beer just like I smoked a joint.
And
You know, it,
PG weed is a medicine. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The whole controversy behind that. The tobacco industries. There's always like a hidden agenda behind. Like, let me get back to like dehumanizing us. Okay, so So we were savages, we were, killers, and all this other like crazy stuff that they labeled us in the media back in the day. So they used to, and they have that term like, hey, we're, you know, scalping. That wasn't from us, man. That was from they were paying because they used to be like, well, how many Indians do you kill? And they're like, well, I killed 50 of them, and the show, and then they're like, okay, well, that person's probably lying. Come back with proof, and they would
Yeah.
scalp the women, the children, the warriors, and be like, look, this is how the Native Americans were like, bet. So when we did it back to them, they're, oh, look, they scalped this many people, and they came and pillaged. No, you got to remember, we're
That
very
was the first.
territorial Native Americans. Like my tribe, your tribe, and it still goes on to this day. If I go to your reservation, people are going to feel some type of way about me coming to your, you know what I mean, coming to your surroundings and coming to your people, and it's just a Native
Yeah.
American thing that people fail to understand that. All Native Americans don't get along, and it's been that way
No.
forever. Um, but we never turned them into slaves. We never, you know what I mean. If it was a fight for territory, we fought, and the
Yeah.
loser had to
But
leave
we
that
didn't never
territory and
took
go find
slaves.
a
Never
different
took.
hunting ground, fishing grounds. They had to find their own sources, but they're like, oh well, they were killing each other before, and it's like, but were we? When we killed some, when we fought like that, we didn't like cause like the whole genocide, but we definitely hated
Yeah.
each other. You know what I mean? There's different clans, different upbringings, and like I said, still to this day, if I go to your reservation, people are gonna want to fight me. You know what I mean? And that's how it goes. Then you fight, and then Iron Bear. After we fight, what's the next thing that happens after that? You become best friends. It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. And then it's unfortunate fact that what you're saying is true though. It's been like that for a long time. And the fact that um it's hard to go to different reservations. A lot of people don't realize that. They think that it's all gravy.
Yeah.
Here, right here in Lake County, there's one, two, three, four, five, six different reservations, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's only three of them that if you was from one reservation, there's only three reservations that get along throughout all of the reservations. You know what I mean? And it's like if you show up without somebody knowing, it's like a neighborhood out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if you go to the wrong neighborhood, they're gonna without somebody knowing, they're gonna get on you. Same with reservation. You know what I mean? They just had the big times out here. The big Native American celebrations out here, and some reservations didn't even show up to other reservations to dance to show their respect because
Yeah.
of the fact that it was bad that they thought that it was going to lead to a fight.
And
When back
it's
in the
still
day,
still
when I was a kid, every reservation would show up to every event to
yeah.
show their respect to that reservation. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But and not even half the reservations. I think there was I think total of seven reservations. A couple of reservations that I went to, and yeah, seven dance groups, right? And four, if not four or five of them was from out of town, out of the county. I think it was one, two, maybe three dance groups out from the county when it should have been six from the county. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just shows, man, it's just like how the separation, and it's been getting worse and worse. You know what I mean?
It is. I believe I think okay, let's get to back to Christopher Columbus because that's the whole topic. But
Yeah,
I want to bring up, okay, so they teach us this in school and they teach everybody else. Okay. And then so Hollywood, radio stations, newspapers, all this stuff. They, like I said, they make us sound like we're idiots, that we're subhuman. I mean, even still on this level, like when you watch Disney movies, you watch cartoons, like the harsh, like just disrespect towards our people is just mind-boggling, bro. And it was accepted, and it still really is accepted till this day. Like, I mean, people upset about changing the name the Washington Redskins, to me that is offensive, dude. That's the same as N-word and all these other derogatory terms. But everyone was so numb to it that when they hear it, they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's just a team. It's just a name. We're honoring your people." Nah, dude, that's just it's a straight slap in the face. I mean, that's how I feel. I don't speak for every Native American because a lot of them don't feel that way and are numb to it too. But I see how it is with the mascots, with the stupid, like big smiling red fuck face that you know what I mean. It's just like
Yeah,
war bond, and non-traditional people that don't know the understanding of war bonnets. You know what I mean? You got to earn
yeah,
that stuff, bro. You can't
yeah, yeah. That's true.
feathers. You got to earn them stripes, just like everybody else, man. You got to earn. If we, what do they call that? Stolen valor. Okay,
Yeah,
so if I'm walking
you're not gonna
around
let. It's
in a
the same
marine
thing as
outfit. I'm not a marine. People are going to call me on it, like, "Oh, what branch are
yeah,
you from?"
yeah. Well,
And
why you
then
got all those
everyone
stripes? Why you got
feels
all those?
feels that way for them. Like, hey, that's stolen valor. That's not right. But when you see
Yeah,
somebody
people get
walking
upset when
around,
people imitate war veterans.
Yeah,
People get
that's the
upset and
main thing.
offended. So
Stolen valor.
why
You can
shouldn't
walk
do the
around with
same?
war bonnets and at games doing the top. Come on, dude. Tomahawk chop. Like, fuck you, man.
Yeah,
That's just how I feel. And it does upset me. And I'm glad that our generation, I don't know how it was for you growing up, but I had to deal with a lot of racism. I never heard the N word until I went to elementary, till I was in I think I was in like second grade, being called a chocolate boy, being called the N word, like right in front of the teacher, and the teacher was giggling along with it, and I was just like, what? And then I'm the bad guy because I went home and I told my grandparents, hey, look, this is what happened, and they're just like, okay, that's wrong, that's not right. And then I tell my uncle, and my uncle's like, man, that's horrible. He's like, next time he calls you that, yeah, I know it's bad advice, but it was for me. I think it was good at the time. Was like, hey man, go punch that motherfucker in his face if he says it again, and show him that you're not. You know what I mean? Show him that you're not the N word. Show him that you're not chocolate boy. Don't ever let anybody disrespect you like that.
yeah,
And for somebody that's 9, 10 years old, I was like, okay, cool. And I get in trouble for it. And, it happened. And he was like, oh, chocolate boy. And then he was saying the N word again. And I get up right out of my desk and I hit him, and homeboy, we start fighting. I beat him up. But you know what? I got in trouble. But I tell you what, that dude never called me the N word again or chocolate boy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I got in trouble, but there was always somebody in the class that was like, you know, their parents must be talking like that around their kids, because I don't talk foul about anybody like any other race, because I don't want that poison in my kids' heads. You know what I mean? I don't want anyone to feel less than. You know what I mean? I want everybody to have that equal opportunity of safety and don't have to feel racism or, at least from my family, don't treat them. And I warn them of alcoholism. I warn them, I got over a year sober of alcohol, but PG helps me. It winged me off of alcoholism. So
yeah.
share a story of how you, at a young, if you encountered any kind of racism as a kid.
Oh man, I've encountered so much racism. 1 second, I just want to ask the question on the screen real quick before I can get into something else.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I believe it's 27 that is the one I'm going against. I'm out here from a small town, and I believe 27 that it supports bigger casinos that take away from small casinos. And I can't remember if it's 27 or not. Yeah, but I'm against that one. I don't really know much about the politics. I don't vote, honestly. I don't really get into that too much. I try to stay out of the politics as much as possible. So much politics within the tribe that I have to deal with it. Here in person, I try to stay out of state politics. But yeah, I'm definitely going for the I believe I get part 27. What I have. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, yeah. Look, man. So like again, I'm from a small town, and it's majority. It's white people. You know what I mean? The natives.
Yeah.
Um, we're um, we when I say natives, like second, don't think that we're in a big number because we're not. It's majority white people, and the racism, man, it's crazy. The racism, it's hard out here, you know, and not just here in my home county, but even other counties like YA, without racism. You know what I mean? I've never been called prairie nigger since I
Yeah.
hit YA. You know, I didn't know what prairie nigger was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was from a CO. That wasn't
The
from an
COs
inmate. That was
called
from a
that?
CO. A CO called me. Hey, hurry the fuck up, prairie nigger. Fuck over here and get your ass in line. What he told me. I said, what? What you calling nigga? You prairie nigger. Get the fucking line. Hurry up. He told me.
Damn.
Hey, motherfucker. I said some shit. He kicked me in my head. And still, like, you know, it took me a good about 2 weeks to like figure out what it was. You know, I this whole time I thought he was calling me some kind of black derogatory name from a black person. You know what I mean? And then you know, I was at school one day. There was a Southsider there, and I was talking to him, and he was like, "Hey," he was like, "Why you gonna call you that?" And he just took off on him. Like, I tried to, but shit didn't work out. And he was like, you know, like I did. I tried to take off on it. It didn't work out too good. He did with my
Yeah.
fucking head. I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I can't believe he said that. That's fucked up, man." I'm like, "Well, whatever. I ain't like I ain't." He's like, "No, that's you don't know what that means." I'm like, "No, what does it really mean?" Like I was wondering what that means. He's like, derogatory words towards natives. He's like,
Yeah.
prairie niggas, you know, prairie natives, and he read it down. And he broke it down to me, you know, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa!" I was taken back. You know what I mean? And that was the first too many times I heard that. I heard that derogatory wagon burner, field
Yeah.
chucker. You know what I mean? Bunch
Yeah.
of stuff. I don't even want to get into any more of that. You know what I mean? I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear
Just
you on that because,
But just
yeah,
you know, throw a few sample. You know what I mean? And a lot of it came from YA. You know what I mean? And a lot from the COs too. Majority of it from YA was from the COs.
yeah.
You know, all the other stuff was like more kid stuff was like we had. And why there was so much stuff to fight about? Racism was the least thing you need. You know what I mean? That was that you didn't need to fight. You know what I mean? It was just
Yeah.
you fight about any little thing. So by saying that, a lot of us came from the COs, you know, and but here in my hometown, that's I witnessed it more so than it was done to me because of the fact that I got sent away when I was young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so like I said, when I hit Hawaii, that's when it really started. You know, and
Yeah.
so I witnessed it more than I had it done to me until I came back. When I came back, I had it done to me at an older age. But at that time, I was more aggressive. Like I've been to YA, I've been what's up, like I've been I was hit the game. So when it happened, I was quick to be like, well, what's up then? What you want to do? Well, either or. I was quick to try to take it by the horns. You know what I mean? It didn't always work out
Yeah.
the way I wanted it to, but
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't so quick. I wasn't so standoffish to just let it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in YA, it was different. I would try. Some deals would test me. I would try to get it back.
Yeah.
I'd get a couple. But every time I wouldn't get a couple. I would land a few blows because
Yeah.
you don't win the COs. You know what I mean? Anybody locked it knows that.
Yeah.
You never win the COs. You get lucky. It might hit land a couple or you might get over on them once or twice, but you're never gonna win. You ain't never gonna win. That's a game you won't win.
Yeah.
I
What
fought
does
with them.
the thing is did that CO call you the Prairie N word again after
Oh
that?
no, no. Well, he did 3 times. The third time is when I really every time
I
he
mean, you might
tried,
have
like I
lost the
tried.
fight, but you show them that you're not going to tolerate that type of, you
Oh
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. That's what I
'Cause,
was saying. After the third time, he called me that, and I fought with him again. I tried to fight with him again. He stopped, and it
yeah,
wasn't because I picked fucking these badass beaters on him. I didn't beat the fuck out of him. I didn't beat him up.
yeah,
He dumped me on my head like every other time. You know what I mean? Fuck, I'm not even gonna lie. He fucking
yeah,
just picked me up,
yeah,
swung me around, dumped me on my head, fucking threw me in handcuffs, and fucking just grabbed me, fucking was like, hey, slapped me around, and was like, get the fuck, get the fuck on type shit. But
yeah,
it wasn't the fact, that I beat his ass. I didn't. It was the fact that he realized, all right, he's trying to take this shit.
yeah,
It's better for me just, not say that and just fucking be good than having this fucking every fucking time I say it.
yeah. Yeah, most
And
definitely. I mean, because I got friends from all walks of life, bro, And one thing that I don't tolerate is being mocked or made fun of. You know what I mean? So when I have this friend, he's a Wasichu, this white dude, and he was oh stupid Indian and all this stuff. And I was like, hey dude, just keep it cool. You know, quit saying that, man. I'm just telling you right now. And he kept saying it, and I went over there and I gave him a three piece, and that dude was just like, he stepped back and his nose bleeding. Was like, come on, let's get it. Like, you're not gonna fucking disrespect me, bro. Like, you're not. I mean, this is my homeboy. We're still friends. But
Yeah,
you know what? He don't call me stupid Indian no more, or you know what I mean. It's just like
yeah,
it's a topic. Okay, so with Christopher Columbus, with the reservations, what I like to call them is prison POW camps because that's basically what they are.
that's what it.
They
Yeah,
feed it into our heads that we're not okay. This is America, land of the free, but it's freedom for who? I mean, because they didn't let us practice ceremonies till like what 1958. They didn't let us learn
they
our
wouldn't let
ways.
us hunt off the
Yeah,
reservation.
yeah. They didn't let us go off the reservation. They didn't allow us to vote till like the 50s, and then they
African
didn't.
Americans had the voting right before we did.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Chicanos, the Mexicans, and
Yeah,
then the
they had those
Mexicans,
right
they
before
still
we
vote
did, and
too.
we're supposed to be our land. We was here first. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we're natives to this land, but we they had, other races have more rights to this land and to do stuff at this land, like vote before we did. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Not saying that that's a bad thing. Not saying it's putting them down whatsoever. You know, but I'm just saying that and to the Native Americans, the bad because the
And
fact is true.
and just to let people know, we're just grieving our situations. We don't hate white people. I don't hate white people. I hate
So
racist people, and it's not just white people that can be racist.
yeah,
It can be
I
our
put
own
counted.
people, Native Americans, can be black people can be racist. There's just pieces
Yeah,
of shit in every
like
race that we're trying to put
like
out
I
there.
said earlier, when I consider that a form of racism when natives want to fight against other natives that are from different reservations. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Other than just, oh, you're from a different reservation, I want to fight you. Like that's
yeah,
racism.
yeah.
You're a different native, I want to fight you. That's
But
racism.
I don't know. I
That's
think
that's
that
not.
like I was bringing up. I think that brings because we're territorial, bro. I don't. It's built in our DNA, and it's always going to be that way. We're territorial, and when we do see other people or other people come to our reservations, we just get protective. And the first thing you want to do when you feel you need to be protective of your people is fight. But then once you
Yeah,
heart check that person, they become your friend. Like it's
yeah.
always been that way, and it's always going to be that way.
You
Like
know,
I think I don't believe there's I mean, yeah, there's racism, like the other tribes don't like each other, but there's also classism too. Like for somebody that does work and they work their ass off, but then they start looking down at other natives. Like you're not entitled to this. You're not, you know, like
and the bad thing. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
yeah, and like the whole what I think is okay, so we go through Christopher Columbus, we get conquered, we get like murdered, they kill off all our resources of food. And just like what Strange and Universal says right here, is America gave natives the worst land too. And then when they would mine and find something there, oh, look, we found gold, we found this, we found all this resources here. Guess what? We had to move again.
Take it
And
back.
and then with that entailed
Like
was
Black Hills.
just
Look what
the
they did at
whole
Black Hills.
yeah. So what that entailed, so okay, we're okay, we're beaten, we're killed because we're speaking our language. We're praying the way we pray in a good way. We're still humble, we're still love. But what I believe is when you just like how when people go to prison for a long time, they get institutionalized. And it goes from generation to generation to where, like, hey, my dad went to prison, my uncle went to prison, and I'm going to go to prison. So this is basically because if it's a prisoner of war camp, they give you little rations. Like, oh, here's a casino. You guys, here's a little area for you. You get discounts. You don't have to pay tax.
Give you enough up to hang yourself.
There's a little bit of welfare money. And so we're getting these little rations, and people are sustaining like afraid to go off the reservation, afraid to go, try to do better and move on and get off the reservation. Then once we do make enough money to get off, what is the first thing they say? Oh, that dude's a traitor. He's acting like he's white. He's too good. But it's not like but there is some assholes that do act like that because I ran into plenty of them like
Oh
that.
yeah, same here.
You know what I mean? So
And like you said earlier, there's racist people and there's assholes in every race. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
most
And
definitely.
when we're sitting and talking, we're not aiming this towards directly for white people. There's, like I said, there's every sort of people that we're saying that right now in every race. You
Okay.
know, it's just the fact that our suppressor happens to be white. You know, person that's oppressing us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and it's not saying that there's not saying that there's natives that don't do it to other natives. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not saying that at all. Because there is.
Okay. Check.
With the Native Americans that are still for their own reservation. You know what I mean? They're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But the majority and that's like saying like I said a minute ago, they're giving yourself enough rope to hang yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, they're giving all
Exactly.
these natives all this power to this money, and then but they're letting them so easy to rip them off. I go and rip go rip yourself off. Pretty much what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're
And
ripping
this is
themselves
this is a
off.
good question. Check this out. Okay, I want you to answer this one. It says, I know how you feel, even though I'm not Dene or Native enough to say I am. I understand I was raised by a Native woman. I mean, how do you feel of other people walks of life that embrace our culture and embrace?
Hey, I'm 100% supportive. You know what I mean? They there's no reason why we should turn anybody away. Like I said, I mean, like if you're trying to be a culture vulture, you know what I mean, then get on down the fucking road.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But if you really really want to truly embrace it and you have for the right reasons, you know what I mean, then by all means, do it. And I'm nobody to say tell you otherwise, not to for sure. You know what I mean? And I will support you. I
Yeah,
will support you in any way I can. I know a lot of friends. You know what I mean? That here in my county that embrace that embrace the native ways. You know what I mean? And that ain't
yeah,
native, but embrace it and like they know. Man, when I say they know native, they know native stuff like more so than Native Americans out here.
yeah,
Like they can come out here and tell you what's happening in the land or about the land. Like different, like the Bloody Island Massacre. You know what I mean? The name Bankanakta. Different stuff about my land that
yeah,
that Native people don't know, but they know that. So the fact that they've embraced it, and they don't know it from they know it the right from the Native perspective. You know what I mean? Not from the what we'll see in the museum. We'll go hear about from the library or something. You know what I mean? But this is like real stuff from Native perspective. You know what I mean? They know
yeah,
how to, they know some Native tongues. You know what I mean? Some Native, Native words. You know what I mean? I know some people that know how to pray in native tongue here. You know what I mean?
yeah. Let me
And they
chime
really
in on
do
that
embrace
too.
it.
Let me. Okay, so it says, I know how you feel, even though, like I said, I'm not here to cause separation or even make you feel bad about it. I'm just bringing awareness to what it is, and I feel when non-natives embrace our culture and like you said, not a culture vulture, when they embrace our culture and see how beautiful, like when you really dig into our culture, dig into our way of life, it is actually a really humbling, loving
Yeah,
environment. We've our culture, we didn't look upon the wink days, the double spirited, we didn't make fun of them, bro. They were held at a standard of holiness because they're a man with a woman's spirit, or a woman with a man's spirit, and we didn't
yeah.
put our women are down, and then we didn't we I believe, let me get okay, so let me getting off track. I feel that I 100% accept you there, strange and unusual, and anybody that's even curious about it. I mean, I feel, just like how Gunner says, if like he says, it's in my heart. He's not Mexican. That's it. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
how I feel too. Like if you're really down with us, then yeah, roll. If
They
because I got a lot of people that Okay, let me get okay, let's get into this. Okay, so it's accepted by us, but don't think that everyone's gonna have open arms either. Because
Yeah,
there, like
that's
I
what.
said, there's a lot of racist assholes in our community too that will be like, you know what? I don't like him.
Just yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want that person knowing anything about our culture, knowing anything about
Don't
this
take offense
person.
to it.
And then they're gonna run with it. And I've seen it plenty of times. You've seen it when people,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, a
Oh
white
yeah.
person
You know, and
what happens?
I've
They
been to
try to open.
ceremonies where like they didn't want other races there. You
Yeah.
know, and it's and it's the way it is. You know, I was over dispute the situation. You know what I mean? You know, like the NEPI, you know, like the sweats. You know, like some natives won't allow women in there, not just other races. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but when
It's
it
not.
comes to ceremony, I think there is a separation that should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because as you know, as the Anipi, the sweat lodge is us giving back to the women, and that's not
Yeah.
just like there's Mother Earth. You know the where as anybody if they don't know the sweat lodge, the Anipi, is built like a womb that covers from Mother Earth. So when we go in there and go pray, we give thanks to the women. You know, and we definitely and we go in there as men and we go in there and we suffer. That's the reason for Sundance. The reason why you see all these natives that look like they're getting butchered, no, those are Sundance wounds, and that's the whole reason of giving back and things because so many women, pass away giving birth to us. Mother, but so many people take from Mother Earth and never appreciate it. The water fights,
Get back.
the pollution, and there's only one planet, bro. And I have no idea why people still continue to use their source of pollution towards it. And then, just to break it down, yeah, I 100% agree with that. But let me get into since we brought up the Inipi. Do you remember when that white shaman did a ceremony and he killed like I think it was like 25 people in the sweat. I mean, it was a huge sweat lodge, and he there's these are powerful ways. You know what I mean? You can't just play with him. You can't be like, hey, you're when you're in that inipi, you control what goes on, and you got to know the directions. You got to know why is it a Heiyoko ceremony? Why is it a Wakan ceremony? You can't just go there. Oh, I built a tent, and now I'm going to have all these people in here with all these rocks and do ceremony. That dude caused harm, and he killed like 23, like 40 people. It was bad, bro.
Yeah,
Like
I do remember that.
he died too, and it's just like you know, like modern day medicine. I mean, we knew about HB, we knew about weed, we knew about like like the medications, like the plants, everything. We lived off Mother Earth. We always gave praise to it. I mean, it was so plentiful. I would love to see just go back in time and go see what the oceans look like, full of whales, full of fish, full. You know what I mean? The creeks, because there was only so many of them that took from it, but we also gave back. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I mean, it
You know,
is.
that's why we hold different ceremonies throughout the year. You know what I mean? Different reservations, no different ceremonies to give thanks to Mother Earth and Creator for what they gave us. You know, um, and like the harvest ceremonies. You know what I mean? The fishing ceremonies. You know, we do a lot of ceremonies. You know, out here anywhere natives. You know, in order to give back to the land. You know,
Yeah.
and like the Nefi, you know, that's the stuff to get back to, Mother and Mother Earth. You know, that way, like you
So we
said,
can live another day. Go another day. I mean, look at all those people like before technology. Like we're not the only traditional culture. I mean, look, we still have the Asians. They still, they tried conquering the Asians and being like, hey, look, we're gonna do you guys like how we did the natives over here, but it didn't work. You know what I mean? Look what they did to Africa. I mean, look, they colonized Africa. Just all this stuff that religion like that has that has poisoned a lot of communities with the thought process. Oh, you don't believe in that person? He's evil. He's the devil. He's a savage. He's a heathen, soulless person that doesn't deserve to live. Let's go kill him. Let's go take his house. Let's go kill his kids. let's go do all this stuff to him, and then if anybody steps up, this is what's going to happen to you. I mean, it's war tactics. I get it, you know, but then you also don't think that I'm going to respect you. You know what I mean? I mean, there's nothing we can do about it now, but I can definitely bring awareness and education to people that do not know about, what it means when somebody talks slick. I mean, on the internet, they talk slick or whatever. I had somebody, a troll, talks back to me, and it still sits with me. Like it shouldn't, but it did. But it's but I know they wouldn't say it to me in person. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. You know, with I'm sorry, I want to get back to Christopher Columbus. Something just popped in my head.
okay,
With when he showed up over here, and he thought he was in India and all that. You know what I mean? So it's funny how they say a ripple causes a big tidal wave. You know what I mean? And that's what we're going through right now. It was a ripple. A lot of people don't look at it as a big factor. You know what I mean? Oh, you just it was this and that, but look at what was caused from that up to today. You know what I mean? All these
yeah,
problems, and I wanted to circle that. Just point out that alcoholism is one thing that came from that. You know what I mean? That we suffer from. You know what I mean? Alcoholism. All these mental problems that came with it. You know what I mean? Like suicide. Native
yeah,
Americans, I don't know how it is over there, but Native Americans over here got bad, with suicidal. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, alcoholism is suicide too. Check out this story. He says, "I went out to a reservation in South Dakota. I'm shamed with the government for the way they treat Native Americans." And it's crazy. I watched a documentary on South
Talking
Dakota.
about Bigfoot.
Yeah, what's up, Bigfoot? And then I watched this documentary of, okay, there's on that reservation in South Dakota, the yearly income is like $4,500, bro. And they travel like hundreds of miles to go to this one liquor store, and that place is booming. They're pulling in like, what did they say? They're pulling in like 2, 3 million a year or something. It was something crazy, dude. And it showed all these natives over there, and they were just like indulgent, like you said, like suicide. Like suicide on the reservation is horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We'll get into other topics about like the missing, murdered Indigenous women and people on the next one. But today, yeah, but like you said, like the whole thing is like no matter how much we try to teach you in submission, we're good. This story's right. The story we're telling in schools is right. We're educating people. We already got the books out. It's like, no, fuck you, dude. I have a voice too. And I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm just speaking my experience and how I feel about Christopher Columbus. I hate that piece of shit. He's a fucking cocksucker. And I'm not going to embrace this day. Tomorrow's Indigenous Day, and that's what it's going to be. And it's not just one day of fucking year. I'm Indigenous 365 until the Great Spirit takes me home. I mean, that's the way I feel. And nobody's ever gonna beat me into submission to thinking that they're gonna bully me, ashamed of myself, or
yeah,
stop saying what I say. Because, even I don't put up with anything like that, bro. I think that's why I'm better off as a business owner than I am as an employee because I will speak my mind. If you're abused in a situation, you're a supervisor, cool, bro. Don't be talking to me like that, though. You know what I mean? You make fucking 40 cents more than me. You're over here fucking talking shit to me. I'd say something.
yeah,
I don't know. That's just the way I am. I'm clicked. I'm built that way, and I find it troublesome sometimes because I will fucking I'll speak my mind, and it's really really like pushing. People feel some type of way when somebody speaks their mind, like truly, honestly speaks their mind. They really don't like hearing it. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's strange. A lot of people don't like the truth. So it's a it's a hardship to think about people celebrating Columbus Day, and I get it. Some people, the Italians, they probably do revere him as a hero because they were taught that way. But if you really dig deep into something like that, let's let's make a special day for Osama bin Laden. Celebrate 9/11. Look, he was a hero. He discovered people discover the Twin Towers, and that would be shameful, wouldn't it? Like,
Yeah,
wouldn't you
they
feel
would
some
take offense to
grave
that
suspicion?
if
You know what I mean? Like,
the
oh, he's a
information
hero.
at all.
He had all these people do all this crazy stuff, and you know, it's if you look at it from that perspective, like to me, it's a hard
Yeah,
concept to accept. And I hope nobody feels that I'm not against white people or anybody else, but I am against the system. I'm against the system that thinks that we're fucking stupid enough to believe everything they put out. You know what
someone's
I mean?
below somebody, below
Yeah,
somebody. You know what I mean? I'm against that
man,
same
that's
thing.
dope. Did you see what the Bigfoot on there? Man, appreciate that Bigfoot. That's super awesome of you, dude. Yeah,
That's not
it's
Bigfoot.
stuff like that is like when you donate stuff to people, because I've had me downs. I when my cousin, growing up super poor on the reservation, my cousins and them, their dad is a millionaire. He's a famous artist. He makes totem poles all throughout the year, but that's his money. That's his hustle. I've never felt the need to go, hey, I have some money. You know what I mean? And it's I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm not against the church. I'm not against religion. If it makes you a better person, go for it. But I will speak my mind and be like, hey, look, this is where I was raised, traditional, and I respect your boundaries. I respect Allah. I respect Jesus. I respect God. I respect the uh, four armed woman. East Indians, Chinese, whatever, man. Buddha. We're all going in the right direction. If you're a true believer, you're going in that right direction. The holiness of being Wakan, being Washe, just the whole concept of, I just want to bring awareness of how me, Iron Bear, anybody else, some people, like I said, if you're celebrating Columbus Day, hey, salute to you. But to me, I'm saying fuck that dude. And I'm not saying fuck you as a culture, as everybody else that has his bloodline. I'm just saying fuck that dude and everything that he did here. From what I read in the books, the only beautiful thing that he ever brought was horses for us to travel, for us to be able to chase the buffalo, to go out and go hunting. The horses weren't here, cows weren't here. You know what I mean? We're true hunters, gatherers, survivors. We're still survivors. We're not victims of war or survivors of anything that's happened. And for us to um, just go to alcoholism, suicide, it's hard to talk the way we talk. To open up and share on a platform, or even share with the family. Okay, look, I'm feeling depressed today. I don't feel worthy. I don't feel. Nobody wants to talk. You know what I mean? But like I said, I always spoke my mind, and I think that's what gets me in trouble. Like even with friends, that's why I'm alone. You'll never see. You'll hardly see me with friends, bro, because I was like, hey man, slow your roll. No one wants to hear that. You know what I mean? Hey, that's kind of you've been You've been doing that for like fucking 4 or 5 days already. Slow down. You know what I mean? It's not the party's over, dude. Just get on. But like, but it's a. I mean, how do you feel about the whole Christopher Columbus thing?
You know, excuse me. Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't feel like it's justified. Celebrating him. You know what I mean? Like, if man, like, if somebody wants to celebrate Osama, how would the United States feel if Afghanistan made a day about Osama bin Laden Day? You know what I mean? They would feel very offended. You know what I mean? Or if they made a day, of somebody else that had a tragedy, America had a tragedy against. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's like they would feel really offended by it.
yeah,
we can only have one tragedy with him. We've had tragedies throughout millenniums, not throughout
Yeah.
centuries. But
Oh,
backlash
we
from
yeah, we've had plenty of 9/11s in our culture, in our, you know what I mean, just mass killings and
massacres. Yes, yes.
Wounded Knee, Sand Creek massacre, and I had somebody comment on my video and was like, "Hey, yeah, Custer had it coming." You know what I mean? He was revered. That's another person too. He was revered as this great Indian killer, but all he did was he waited till the warriors were gone hunting. Then you
and
go
then
in and get the women and
get the women
children
and
and
children.
elders. There's no
What's
noble.
this noble? Yeah.
There's
What's
no
so good
nothing
about
about that.
that? I
Yeah,
mean, if we did that, we'd be savages, and oh my God, how could they do
yeah,
that? You know what I mean?
yeah. So
What
he's a great.
savages? What crazy people? What? Oh my God. But yet they hide that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
From they don't tell you that in the history books. You know what I mean?
and
They make him to be knight in
as I was
shining armor.
explaining, yeah, and as I was explaining, we're storytellers, bro. So there was no person that wrote it down. We drew pictures on the rocks and stuff like that. But everything that we documented was through storytelling. When
Hmm.
when as the stories get told down, from what I heard is that they said that Custer fought a good battle and they respected him as a warrior because no one scalped him. And it was like,
They
no,
didn't want to touch him because he was so
yeah,
filthy.
they said nobody wanted to touch that piece of shit because he was such a coward. I mean, if he really
Yeah.
fought like a warrior and he really went after the warriors, then yeah, but people don't hear the other. There's always two sides to every story. And so
Exactly.
when I watch stuff like the homie hangout, he's like he wants facts. He does his
Yeah.
research, and he does same with Boxer and all the rest of them. They want facts. I mean, you hear
Hmm.
one thing, but why did that person do that to you? Why is that person?
What happened? What
Yeah,
was the reason for that?
like that's when somebody tells me a story, I don't sit there and take it as a whole. I got my opinions too, and it's you know. Uh, with tomorrow being Christopher Columbus Day, as you can tell, I'm at the restaurant. The landlady worked out a payment deal for me, so we're able to open up the restaurant again, and we're able.
Oh, right on, bro.
Yeah, so as you can see, but the walls are bare, and the reason why I did that is because I'm going to start purchasing stuff that's meant for the restaurant. You're going to see what our Indian tacos look like. You're going to see what and it's like I said, if you really want to get together and start this indigenous talk and start a different channel, I'm down for that too.
Let's
Let's
do
get
it. I'm down.
because we need to. Let me see what it is say talking about. Try to sweep it under the rug. Yeah, me too, man. Yeah,
I think
it's
we need to.
I
I think
feel
it's needed.
our culture, but we're starting to break barriers, bro. I mean, take a look at look like not even fucking 10 years ago, bro. Look at the movies they portrayed us in. No, I'd say about 15 years ago because I'd say 15, 20 years ago they always made like movies like us, doon 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 doon, and come in. Hey, I'm chief. Who talks like that, dude? I don't talk
Yeah.
like that,
I've never heard nobody
Oh,
talk like that.
when he's from over. No, fuck you, dude. And then I do get
Yeah.
offended when I see stupid shit like that, like the whole John Wayne stuff. We're breaking barriers of the stereotypes. I mean, I have a cousin that's an author. She writes these books, and she made this movie called Monkey Beach, and it's out there. It was out in the movie theaters. She wrote Monkey Beach, and then before Reservation Dogs, she did a show. She wrote this book called The Trickster, and I read those books. And I read the first book. Not that I didn't even know she had two other ones. I read Monkey Beach. My dad is actually a character in that book and in the movie. So if you ever watch it,
Okay.
my dad plays as Adam Beach in the movie.
Adam
And
Beach.
just like how like my dad, like how I joke around and stuff like that. In the movie, they make him as a jokester, as a trickster, and it's fucking funny because I know that's my dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we're breaking barriers. We're breaking that stereotype. We're getting rid of that drunk Indian fucking stereotype because alcoholism has no face whatsoever. There's
No, no, it
nobody
doesn't.
that can, just some people are built different and
Yeah.
do can handle the alcohol, and I for one can't. I'm a totally different person. I hate the person I am when I'm drunk, and
Yeah.
it's but with the barrier breaking. Okay, we got reservation dogs. We got people on YouTube that's sharing the culture. We got so many other different uh like the first Native American astronaut going out to space not too long ago. We should bring up that subject on Indigenous talk. And it's just we're breaking the barriers from Christopher Columbus from 1492. We're breaking the barriers of we're not subhuman. We're not tolerating any of it. Like with the gas lines. Of all the places they want to fucking build it over the
Hold
water.
on one second.
Okay. Well, like I said, they want to build it over the reservation, so that no DAPL came. We had so many celebrity supporters, and it doesn't. It's cool if a celebrity does step up, and they do help. It brings more awareness because for somebody like me and you, nobody knows who we are. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if we're movie stars and they put their career on the line, be like, hey, look, no DAPL, the pipelines, what they're doing was wrong. They could go build it somewhere else. Was the whole thing, and people lost their
Mhm.
arms, lost sight. I don't think anybody was killed, but a lot of people remained there. And then now they're gonna have to start paying out money because it was dead fucking winter, and they're out there spraying them with
With
water.
water.
You know what I mean? What
Yeah.
kind of fucking piece of shit you got to be?
Do
You know
that.
what I mean? Peaceful protesters, bro. They weren't rioting. They weren't. You know what I mean? It wasn't like Wounded Knee where they, fucking Russell Means and them were blasting back at the FBI, and the FBI were.
Yeah.
If they seen them, they were snipers out there killing Native Americans, bro.
Oh
And
yeah. Yep.
you know what I mean? It was a whole different beast. And for Russell Means, as you can see in the back right here, I got AIM in my restaurant,
Yep.
American Indian
Oh.
Movement. You know what I mean? So, and I'll proudly fly that flag. I support AIM all the way. I believe in
Mhm.
what they do for our people and what they've done for our people. That's the reason why That's the reason why we're able to practice ceremonies. That's the reason why we're allowed to vote. We weren't even considered fucking United States citizens till like 6 years, or not 6 years ago. Like 1948, 1950. I was reading up on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. You gotta, you gotta learn people's strategies. You gotta learn people's history. And what I did is, I know where I'm from. I'm Pakwachin First Nation from Vancouver Island. And then I'm also Hillsick Nation that's up in Bella Bella, and that's up close to Alaska. I know my history. I know my people. Then I also know that I am my grandmother. Like I have this picture. My grandmother posted a picture of her grandfather, and it was this Italian dude. You know what I mean? So there's, I do. I'm not completely 100% Native American, but it just brings back to what Strange said is like, how do you feel? Like, you know what I mean? Where's that question at? But like you said, am I accepted? And and it's I embrace that too. Italians, they come, like I said, they're a culture, and people, they sent out a piece of shit Columbus, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And it's this one thing though that like I wanted to say about AIM. One thing that's about AIM is they've always pushed and strived for the people.
yeah,
And Russell Means they're still holding him right now. POW, prisoner of war. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He
yeah,
still hasn't been charged. You know what I mean? He has no charges, but they've been holding him for decades.
Oh, I think you're talking about Peltier, Leonard Peltier, because Russell Means
Yeah,
passed
I'm
away.
sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But they still for decades have held him without charging him. You know what I mean?
yeah. So he's still sitting in, yeah, he's still sitting in
Breaking.
federal prison, and he's probably going to pass away there. But yeah, the whole thing
Yeah.
is like, if he's freed, that you have to admit, oh, well, I was wrong. You know what I mean? Because if you read up on Leonard Peltier and his situation, and I've read the book. If you guys want to check it out, man, there's a really good book called "Where the White Men Fear to Tread" by Russell Means, and he brings up the whole thing of boarding schools and how the histories, and he brings a lot of insight because Dennis Banks, and a couple other natives were the founders of that, and to be a part of that, you have to be alcohol free and drug free to be a
Hmm.
part of that movement. And they brought, like you said, they brought a lot or they strive for us to be proud again, to get over that
Yes.
stereotypes of hey, look at that stupid engine, look at that drunk engine. No, there's more to it than, you know what I mean. You're going to respect us and
We
you're going to
got
give us equal opportunity, and which we do now. Now that we got equal opportunity, we got to take fucking hold of it.
yeah.
The education programs
Exactly.
that we have out there for I tell my kids about it. Like, man, you need to get that education. You need to go take it. There's so many grants. There's so many schools, free schools in Durango, Colorado for Native Americans. I mean, that is just, you got to take advantage. And we got dealt an ugly hand. I know my history. I don't sit there and wave my fist about it, but I will bring it up and speak my opinion and be like, hey, look,
Yeah.
and if you were ever done wrong, or like if we band together, bro, we come together and we unite. That's how I feel. Like when even just cruising over here to the restaurant, I see so many of my people that are abusing alcohol, fentanyl. Um, but then I cruise down to Yakima and I see a whole different crowd of people. Like I said, there's no face to drug abuse or alcohol abuse. Like, I see so many white people, black people, anybody, like a whole different crew of people in Yakima. It just so happens in this area is the reservation, and you're going to see it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But behind all those people, they got family members that are working, that are in council, they have their life together. They got so much more going on. So it's just embrace it, man. And that's how I feel. What I did is I embraced it. I am the face of the first Native American restaurant. I mean, to me, that's a pretty big fucking achievement.
Yes,
You
that
know
is
what I
though.
mean? And and I'm proud and I'm super happy about it. We now may not be super successful like other people's, but I think it's location too.
Mhm.
So what I got to do is just keep running with this until I can go to California,
So,
until I can go to
yeah.
Texas, till I'm just not giving up the fight. I'll never give up the fight, bro.
Don't. Don't,
Until,
bro. Don't.
yeah, until this heart stops. I mean, there's other people are going to pick up after me and go fight too. You know what I mean? You know, if anything you take from this episode, man, is just I appreciate you guys for understanding and not thinking that we're attacking all the people of Christopher Columbus or people that look like him. I'm just saying, fuck him in his boat that he came in on, man. And and that brings it to like just the whole like go back to your country. And it's like, dude, you're not even from here, honestly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at it,
Exactly.
dig your fucking history up, and you'll see. For people that are like that, hey, well, I was born here. Well, your fucking ancestors weren't. This wasn't their. You know what I mean? The whole school teaches these people to think like that, to be like, oh,
Yeah.
And I'm proud.
Exactly.
And the crazy thing is I'm Canadian, but I'm proud to be living in America, bro. You know what I mean? There is a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of gifts that you can take. You know what I mean? Knowledge. There's a lot of people that's willing to share because if it was dictated like how Iran is, you got to think a certain way. How North Korea is with their people, they killed the South Korea and they go fucking hate them and kill them, bro. And you got to
Yeah.
subdue to their. There's like what, and then another thing is when they did put us on reservations and put us in boarding schools. You know who what the boarding schools uh, uh, were picked up by was fucking Adolf Hitler, bro, on how to treat the Jewish people. He picked up everything from that boarding school, how to break a person and make him feel subhuman, make him feel like a piece of shit, bro. And
Yeah.
that's what he picked up from how we were treated And the last boarding school that was like that was ended in like fucking 91, bro. And they just picked up
Mm.
like all these bodies, these kids, that's why the whole every child matter movement starts. And they just went through like 4 schools and found like 11,000 children. You know what I mean? That's another slap in the face. And it's just like it's never ever going to be rectified, I believe. But for people that listen, the people that do know what's going on behind the scenes is what the goal is of this episode is just bring awareness of what we're going through, and there's more to it than what these social media and all these like books that are just not going to you know what I mean, tell you the 100% truth.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep, I know exactly what you mean, bro.
yeah.
Hey, I gotta wrap this up, bro.
All right, well, I
I
appreciate you,
apologize.
brother. And
I apologize. I gotta wrap it up kind of
no, it's
quick.
good. We've been on here for like an hour, 16 minutes, bro, and I really appreciate you.
Okay.
And then if there's anything else you want to bring to the table before you tap out.
Yeah, I just want to, just remind everybody out there, there's always two sides to every story. You know what I mean? And remember that, just like some people could look at somebody as a hero. Others could look at him as the face of a massacre to their people.
Yeah,
I mean, in a sense, some natives can look at him as Adolf Hitler.
yeah,
You know
of
what I
course.
mean? In a sense, yeah, I'd say in a sense worse. You know what I mean? So just be knowledge to that tomorrow when you guys everybody out there want to celebrate that. They just know there's two sides to every story.
Yes,
And for the natives out there, just remember, we're still here. Don't stop the fight and keep pressing. Keep striving to do something good. Get over your addiction and fight those demons inside. We're strong people and just keep your head up. And there's days gonna be out there that's gonna be hard. There's days it's gonna be easy. Just take it in stride. And keep your head up and don't stop the fight. All right, Lucky Loco, thank you for having me in, brother.
all right, Iron Bear. I'll hit you up, brother. I'll call you later, and we'll start working on the other channel too.
All right, sounds good, brother. Have a good one.
All right, man. Dope Shaw. You take care.
Oh.
Okay, everybody. I appreciate you guys tapping in, man. Like you said, we want to take into account that how we feel about Christopher Columbus and his holiday that's celebrated, and people. I really don't care that you celebrate it. It's just honestly another day to me. But the meaning behind it is just it's a real slap in the face, and I'm here to speak my mind about it. Um, I really dislike the guy. I dislike anything and any part of that part of history. But that was like hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and today, if you feel some type of way, or if there's it's not just Native Americans. If you feel some type of way, man, reach out because the alcohol abuse, the drug abuse is real, and you know what what the suicide that does go on to the on the reservations is horrible. I thought about it. Actually, I thought about it a lot when I was a kid because of the upbringing I had. I think that's why I turned to alcohol. Not so much hard drugs. I believe alcohol is worse than heroin or anything else. Um, my brother walked in when I did have a loaded pistol to my head and cried and was just pleading with me about what life would be like without me. So uh, it's hard to admit that you do have a mental illness or like or any type of way of feeling that you're less than because your whole thing is brought up of having that. You know what I mean? It's a sad way of thinking, I do know it goes on rampant around the United States. The children that have to survive the alcohol abuse, the drug abuse, the S abuse. You know what I mean? If you feel that way, that type of way, man, there's no shame in reaching out and having that type of help because man, it's takes a lot to be like, hey man, I'm feeling depressed. I'm not feeling like myself today. I don't feel worthy of breathing, and that's a really sad thing to go through. You know, you could have all the money in the world and still feel that way. You know what I mean? Happiness is part of your spirit, your mind, and if your mind ain't right and you feel the need to go out, drink, do drugs to feel some type of normalness, reach out for help, man, because that mental health, because like when you drink, it gets worse and it never goes away, and it comes back even worse when you're hanging over from that type of stuff. So, if anything, man, just we're going to be bringing up more stuff about the reservations, and if you know anybody that's out there, man, that wants to tap in with the do the Lucky Loco show, man, comment them, tag them, tell them to come through, man, because we definitely need to bring awareness and programs that are out there for teens, you know, for our people. And it's not just my Native American people. I'm talking about the gente. I'm talking about the woods. Everybody else, man, because everybody goes through emotions, and you need to learn how to deal with them without drowning them. Because that problem's not going to go away. It's always going to be there until you talk about it. So I'm not perfect. Never claim to be perfect. There's it's therapeutic to be able to get on stuff like this. You know, shout out to Gunner and Rojo and all these other people that you get, you know, Sea Dog that have me on their channels, and can really take a whole hour and a half of time of theirs to really explain the reservations, the survival tactics of being on here. You know what I mean? It's a very violent place. It's a very impoverished place, and it's a place of feeling like you can't escape, and that's not a good feeling because what's going to happen? What are you going to do to escape? You're going to lean towards drinking alcohol, you know, acting out, gangs. You know, these are the type of people that are going to recruit. You know what I mean? We did. There's a lot of gangs here on the reservation, and there's a lot of active killings that do go on here, and it's a very dangerous place. It's a sad place, but then there's also, like I said, there's two sides to every story, man. There's a lot of great people out here. There's a lot of great resources. There's places that you can reach out to people. Sorry, I'm going on for a little bit, but I feel what he brought up of people that are dealing with mental health and dealing with feeling less than. I wake up every day and pray. I pray for that today I get to live a full 24 hours, or you know, I pray that I get to get up, hustle. Like I said, when you guys pray for me, when Sea Dog and all you guys pray for me, man, it doesn't have to be financial gains, man. It just, you know, give me my health, give me my mental strength, give me the strive to go and keep going. So that's the whole thing of this with this channel. It's not always going to be happy, smiles, hugs, and hallmarks, man. It's going to be the grim reality and the truth of what goes on the reservations and what it means to be insulted by racial slurs with Native Americans. You know, I just want to give you some type of understanding of what we're going through and what we're doing. So, what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm not the voice of everybody. I'm not speaking up for anybody's nation. I'm not speaking up for all Native Americans, but I am speaking up for me and my experience and what it means. So I'll get in more into it, man. You know, I appreciate you guys. Have a happy Indigenous Day tomorrow, and I appreciate you guys tapping in. And it's a blessing, you know, to be able to get up here and talk on my own and and give you an insight of what it is. There's more. Like or strange and universal, man. I appreciate people like you, man. I appreciate all you guys that are curious about it. You know what I mean? So next time if you do have a Native American friend, man, don't call him Indian. Don't call him, don't call him even just joking around, man, because you're gonna take that as a slight diss, and I don't want to disrespect nobody on here. I treat people how I want to be treated. I don't call people no N words. I don't call nobody no names unless you call me something, and I will say something back that's not appropriate. So, and I just want you to be mindful. Have a blessed day. I'll get into more of the talks of what we're doing because it's a subject that needs to be brought up, and I appreciate you guys tapping in, man. We've been going at it for like about an hour, 26 minutes. I still got a load of homework to do. I'm enrolled in like 2 different entrepreneur classes. I'm really fighting, man. I am really, really fighting to keep this business going as a restaurant. So I'm going to be doing both the trailer and this. When one doesn't work out, the other one has it. And if I lose this place, I'm not going to lose no tears over it. It's just location, man. Um, have a blessed day. Washtelo. Doksha. It's been an honor to have you guys on the platform. I really appreciate you guys commenting on here. You got Sneaky on here, Facts. Salute to everyone. Strange. Yes, most definitely. Um, help this channel blow up. Get some more people you feel that need to hear stuff like this, man. Because I know there's plenty of gang and prison channels and stuff. I know I was involved in a gang. I went to prison, but I'll bring that out. Like Flacco says, every negative you can make a positive out of. You know what I mean? For every bad experience, there's always got to be something. You know what I mean? My childhood trauma, a lot of that, the abuse, uh, being beat, being, it's a subject I'll bring up. Just like the whole thing is what I learned from my childhood because I used to talk about it with a lot of hate, but I had this Kickapoo Nation guy um, talk to me about it, and he's like, you could take a positive out of that. It taught you how not to treat your kids. It taught you how not to treat people, and that really stuck with me, man. Shout out to Kickapoo, man. He's the real one. Um, I don't know if he's alive still. It's been a long time since I talked to him, but yeah, there's a lot that I'll bring to the table. So I really appreciate you guys, man. I'll let you get back to your Sunday, um, and hit me up on my Instagram, man. If there's any subjects or any topics that you want to talk about, I believe it's Travis Lucky. I don't have the Travis Lucky Bob or something like that. But if you want to, I want to talk about something, or if there's a subject, or if you feel that somebody would do great on an interview, just hit me up, man, because I'd be more than happy to sit down with you. Or even if you're going through dark times, man, hit me up. I'll always be here. I got my phone here all the time, and willing to hear you out because I'd rather hear you out than read about you passing away or doing something to yourself, man. The Lucky Loco show, man. I know it got a little bit dark, but that's the subjects I want to talk about and bring to light. I love you guys. You guys take care.